Hey, what's up, Triple P Nation? This week's episode is brought to you by Triple P Life Nutrition, helping you optimize your health and performance.
Welcome
to the Age of Awakening.
Please identify yourself. Enter.
Triple P Nation, welcome back to the podcast. That's right, the Triple P Life Podcast, where this week, like every week, we're going to explore the tools, tactics, and strategies to help you achieve personal and business mastery. Now, the mission of our podcast here, for those of you who might be new, is to help entrepreneurs and professionals learn and grow in the four key areas of life, which is mental, physical, spiritual, and financial. So you can start living what we call your Triple P life, which is your best life. I'm your host, Dr. Jay LaGuardia. Once again, welcome. If you're new to the show, if you're one of our longtime listeners, appreciate you guys. As always, love you guys. Thanks for showing up each and every week. Hey, we're on YouTube now. Come check us out at tripleplife.com and get to see my face. I'm actually really quite casual today. I was out running some errands. I want to tell this story about personal branding and why branding is so important in your business and in your life. And whether you know it or not, you're always putting your brand out there. The question is, are you doing it intentionally or is it happening randomly? And the key about branding, it's about being your authentic self. Because if you're trying to put forth a kind of a vibe of someone who you're not, you're never going to come off as authentic. And people are just not going to believe in who you are. Certainly not going to believe in your message. So that's what I want to talk to you about here today. I'm going to talk about the 5 questions you need to ask yourself and how to really set yourself up so your personal brand is aligned with who you are and where you're going with your business and your life. Now, before we do that, again, if you haven't done recently, please do hit your follow button, hit your rate review button, comment down below, especially if you're on YouTube here. As I mentioned, I will respond to each and every one of them. So this week, like every week, we've got our special success snack episode. And this one is called What's the Deal with Us Business Owners? Guys, have you ever noticed some business owners just are able to go for it? Right? No matter what it is, they take all the necessary steps. They have the courage to take that leap of faith. They drive forward aggressively and confidently, always with the mindset of growing their businesses. And they never seem to doubt themselves. Well, here's the truth. We all do, right? But it comes off that way. I don't care who you are or how many businesses have you started. There's always that sense of doubt, right? Market, right time? Do I have enough capital? Is there enough people in the marketplace who want what I have? So they may look that way, but the reality is everyone still has it. But still, there's 2 elements here that I really want to talk about because when it comes to entrepreneurs, right, they absolutely do have doubts and fears. We're all going to experience it. The thing that separates those who are most successful is they don't allow their doubt and fear to stop them, right? How many times have you set yourself up to take the next step, maybe to finally launch your business, and doubt and fear creeps back in and it stops you right in your tracks? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you need to learn, because if you do these 2 things and grow these 2 areas, guess what? You're going to have to worry about that in the future. And those 2 things are confidence and competence. You see, confidence comes from competence, meaning the more competent you are in your area, in your field, in your level of expertise, the more competent you become. And competence often comes down to something as simple as this. That is acquiring the exact knowledge you need, surrounding yourself with the right people, the right mentors, people who've already succeeded at the things that you want to succeed, the right resources that's going to help you achieve and reach your own goals. Now, I want you to use that knowledge to create a master strategy. That's the key. Now that you have the knowledge, then you can put the strategies in place to achieve the success that you want. And that's it. Confidence and competence. So let me emphasize, becoming a confident, courageous leader and entrepreneur really comes down to knowledge and strategy. So lucky for you, on this day and age, both are easy to come by. So why is that? Because there's so many more resources out there. I mean, look at this, YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube, and there's a lot of other sources out there as well too. I've often said the current educational system is antiquated and out of date, probably about 10 to 15 years, and it's going to collapse on itself. Now, not literally, okay? I don't mean that the government's going to stop funding schools or not have teachers. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about what school is designed for, and that is to provide us to be gives us the tools necessary, the skill sets necessary to be successful in life. And when you can achieve those tools outside of the school, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of that mushroom, right? When you could step outside of that and achieve the knowledge and skills you want at a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the time to move in a direction you want your life to go that you're passionate about, why would you ever go to secondary school? Because you can do so. Now, of course, if you need a certificate or a degree, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, I get it. You got to go that route. But those professions are decreasing in students. And more importantly, more people are choosing to work for themselves. See, this is why things like mastermind and coaching and live events and seminars are so important because you can jam basically a lifetime of knowledge in a short weekend. And if you repeat that over a period of time, eventually you're going to acquire the knowledge to help you become pretty smart and an expert in the field that you're moving towards. And in no time, this is what's going to help you to become a confident entrepreneur. Of course, you could always take the long road and search out the knowledge on your own. You could do what I did the first 4 or 5 years in business. You know, I resisted help. Figured I'll figure it out on my own. I've always done it on my own. I don't need no one else's help. Man, that was a disaster on my part because I spent years trying to craft the right strategy, trying to figure out on my own. And the only thing I did was keep falling on my own crank, costing me time, energy, money, and nearly costing me my marriage, my business, and my family. Fortunately, I wasn't stupid enough to wait as long as some do, right? Not calling you out, but let's face it, we do at times. And then what happens? We find ourselves bankrupt, out of business, broken marriage, broken family. Don't want you to go there because it's not necessary. So why go through all that pain? Doesn't make sense. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about currently, what are you doing to invest in yourself? What are you doing to uplevel your knowledge, to increase your strategy base for your business or for your future business? Whatever it is, you need to start doing it right now. And we've got multiple ways to help you. If you want to learn how to grow and expand your business or start a business, reach out to us, drjay at triplelife.com. My coaches and I, we have a team of people who are really smart to help people set their business up and grow their business. Now, there's also a variety of other coaches out there who do an amazing job. So whether you choose to work with us or someone else, don't waste your energy and time because that's what it is. You can't get that time back and you can't get the velocity of money back that you've lost by waiting all this time to put the right systems and steps in place to uplevel your business. So reach out to somebody, reach out to us, drjay at triplelife.com, powerpassionprosperity.com, wherever you want to find me, Dr. J on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. Man, we're here to help. And that's what we love to do. Okay. Which is really brings us to today's topic, which it's about branding. Because whether you are in a service industry, whether you have a home business, whether you have a manufacturing business, you have to have a brand. Your brand is everything. Your brand is what identifies you to your tribe, to your audience, the people who want the product and service that you have. Your brand is sending messages out each and every day, every moment of every day, and people are judging you based on that. So are you doing that intentionally or is it happening randomly? And I would say in most cases, it happens randomly. We don't literally take charge of our personal brand and or our business brand. It just happens more organically. Now, in some cases, that's fine and it works out great. But in many cases, it's your lack of intention on your branding that's costing you business and significantly affecting your ability to scale and to grow in the future. You see, the more powerful your personal brand is, the more you'll be able to achieve and to serve your clients and your customers. Now, let's talk about your brand. At the most basic level, your brand is what people think about you. Okay, it could be you personally or your business or both. So when people see you, what do they say? What do they think? So I encourage people to basically do a survey around their closest people. When you see me, what are some of the words that come to mind? Do you see me as somebody who is competent? Do you somebody who has integrity? Someone who is outgoing, who's personable, who's charismatic? Do you see someone who is resourceful? Someone who's also humble? Do you see me someone who at times can be vulnerable, seeking help and assistance when I may need help? Or do you see me somebody who's not so confident, someone who's awkward in social settings, maybe is aloof, doesn't seem to be fully there with it, doesn't seem to be sharp. Maybe at times looks like I'm cutting corners and not living up to high levels and standards. You see, all these things are just descriptions for how you are perceived for your personal brand. So these are attributions, how people see us. And then there's a level of skill and competence that people notice as well too. And is it accurate or not accurate? Again, if you're in the service industry, are you good at what you do? Do people seek you out? Do people refer to you? It's one of the best ways to determine whether you are good at what you do if you are in the service industry. If you're getting constant referrals and quality referrals, it means people believe in you. It means people are aligned with what you're doing and believe you do a good job with it. So, which comes to another question. How often do you survey your customers, your clients? You should be doing this at least annually to find out what they think of you. What type of surveying put together? Well, that's more specific maybe for another show. It's things we work on with our clients as well too. But the key is how do you know what they're thinking? And if you don't know what they're thinking, how could you make the appropriate changes to uplevel your business? So the best way to find out if you are online, the best way if you're rocking it, the best way if people think strongly of your brand is to survey them. So this is why it's so important really to take time to intentionally craft your own personal brand. You want to make sure people think of you in a way that aligns with you, who you are authentically, like I mentioned before, and supports the impact you want to make and have in the world, which increases your ability to realize your success now and in the future. So, this is why you need to ask yourself and contemplate these 5 questions I've laid out for you. Number one, am I making decisions based on my personal values? The second one is, have I established my credibility? Three, am I seen as a trustworthy person? Four, do I understand my personal purpose? Five, do I have an exclusive niche? All right, I'm going to go back to all of these here, or stop at number one here. Again, I'm a real believer of seeking guidance and assistance from those around you. That's why I said each and every one of you, we need to have our own personal board or board of directors. And that's a group of 7 or 9 people. And this could be literally or figuratively, like people we have in our head that I would reach out to, right? Because I look at my own personal board each and every year and I know who's on it. Sometimes I put some people on, sometimes I put people off. Sometimes they don't even know they're on my board. Simply, these are people I know who love me, who want to see what's best for me, but they're also willing to be blatantly honest and objective and tell me, hey, man, you're screwing up. That's not the way to go. That's not who you are. Or I see you in a way in which, your potential is so much greater than what you're doing it, right? They don't do it to be mean. They do it because they love us and because they're willing to be completely open and honest with us. I want those people on my board. Do you have a board? Do you have people who you can turn to that can help you, that can guide you, and can really set you on your path? All right. Question number one. Am I making decisions based on my personal values? So if you're not, what is driving the decisions you make? And are they leading you towards the life that you want? You know how I feel about this. If you've listened to this show for a month or longer, there's probably not been 2 shows in a row where I haven't touched on the importance of values or making decisions based on values. If you don't know your core values and you haven't prioritized your core values, it's almost impossible to make decisions, good decisions, because there's decisions and then there's decisions that we make right. There's no perfect decision, by the way. We make a decision and then we make that the right decision based on the choices and the things that support that decision. But your core values, are essentially, I always say they are your compass, right? It's your guiding light in the storm, in that harbor when the storm is swirling around. I know where I'm going. I can see it. It's clear, even though everything else is cloudy. So your values become the foundation of your personal brand. And you should consistently be at the forefront of everything you do and everything you want to build. Again, you can go back to previous episodes. Perhaps you can go to season one. I can't remember if it's episode 7 or 8, where I talk about core values and how to assess and create your own core value list. So I would strongly recommend, if you're not familiar or haven't done this before, but personal brand is based on core values, because when you live authentically with your core values, it's so easy for other people to see who you are. And then you see whether it aligns with you or not. Okay, number two, have I established my credibility? So credibilities influences a person's decision to believe in what you say and what you can do. You see, the more competent you are, shown through your actions that you take, the more credible you become, right? Walk the walk, talk the talk, or talk the talk, walk the walk. Without credibility, your ability to rise is severely impacted. So again, sitting here talking with you today, right? If I don't have skins on the wall, in other words, if I haven't accomplished these things that I talk about, starting my 19th business right now, if I haven't been, fully engaged in my own personal fitness journey for the last 36 years, nutrition, I would have no credibility. But because I'm authentic and I do what I say, you can have a reasonable sense of trust that what I'm saying is accurate. Now, I always tell you, go do your own homework. Go check it out for yourself. Make sure what I'm saying is right. I have no problem with that. And if someone disagrees, I have no problem with that either. But I know what works for me. I know it's been time tested. I know over time that the actions that I share with you, the strategies that I give you, that if you implement without question, will help you achieve the results that you want. So you got to have some credibility. Have you established the credibility? Question number three, am I seen as a trustworthy person? Guys, trust is another person's belief that you're going to do the right thing, especially when they're not looking. You see, it's a measure of your integrity and the level of safety people feel when they're with you. See, the higher level of trust, the more likely a person will be to follow you as a leader or to work with you. So, are you seen as a trustworthy person? Again, do you walk your walk? This is so key. You all have met people in your life who talk a great game, but behind the scenes, their life is in shambles. Uh, my industry, right? Coaches, it's pretty known that a lot of coaches who are really good coaches have this personal persona, but on the inside, their marriages are a wreck, their health is in shambles, and probably don't have the financial stability that they come off that they say they do. So it's really important that you're seen as a trustworthy person. Okay, number four, do you understand your purpose? The impact you want to make in the world is your purpose. Your purpose is what drives you. Your purpose is what fuels your passion. And the more clarity you have about your purpose, the easier it is to develop your personal brand message, which is going to connect you to the people that you want to help. I love the video on YouTube by Simon Sinek in his, incredible book, Start With Why. And he talks about most entrepreneurs know what it is, what they do, and most of them know how it is what they do, but very few know why it is what they do, and even less can articulate why it is what they do. Well, why is that so important? Your why behind what it is that you do is what connects people to you, right? There's a lot of great healthcare professionals that do very similar things. So why you and not them? Because it's your why. It's your why that attracts the people to you, right? It's also your integrity. It's also your personal brand. Is there consistency there, right? Have you built a level of trust? And is your why well known within your community that people want to travel across across town or across state to do business with you? Cynic talks about, he said, your why will create your tribe. And the thing is, especially in the service industry, not everyone's your customer. We want everyone to be our customer. I get it. But there's a certain component of person right? We break it down that who is the tribe that we want to attract? You know, how old are they? Is it more male, more female? Do they make a certain amount of money? Do they shop at Whole Foods and exercise 5 times a week and take supplements? You get to figure that out. But it's your purpose that drives that. In 1997, I was sitting at a John D. Martini seminar. There was about 3,000 people in the room. And I've always asked myself, because I had been out of college now and in practice and owning my first two businesses. And I never really understood what my purpose was. And John, if any of you had an opportunity to listen to any of John D. Martini's amazing videos, listen to any of his CDs, read any of his books, been to any of his programs. In fact, he's been on the show. He's been a guest at this show. Incredible individual. And he went through one of those transcendental moments. He's on a stage, 3,000 people, is dressed impeccably. He stops, he closes his eyes, he covers his hands over his eyes, and he goes into a transformative state. And for some reason, at that moment of time, I knew what my purpose was. Now, honestly, obviously, prior to that, he was talking about purpose and vision and life and so on and so forth. And my wife is sitting next to me, and I'm banging her on the leg, and I'm banging her leg, and I go, "I got it, I got it." She goes, "Well, whatever it is, don't give it to me," because she was trying to listen. And I'm sitting there and writing it down furiously, and I got it. I got this one sentence, and I handed it to her, and she looked at it. She looked at me, and I'm like, "That's it. That's why I'm here on this earth." And that mission has never changed, right? 30 years now, it hasn't changed. And that purpose is to inspire millions of people just like you to live happier and healthier, more prosperous lives. And so every decision I make, every business I choose, every whatever it might be, has to align with that purpose. And if it does, then the decisions are easy, just like knowing what your values are in question number one. So if you don't know your purpose, there's a really important tool we help our clients work with. We call it the clarity tool, finding purpose. There's a way to do it. And if you've been lost or get disconnected, or your purpose can change in time, it absolutely can. Reasons and seasons. As your life changes and you progress through life, your purpose may alter, may change. So once, your purpose could have been one thing at one point, now it might have morphed. So updating that, reviewing that is an important thing to do. All right, let's get to the last question. And that is, do I have an exclusive niche or niche, however you want to say it? I like niche. Sounds really smart. All right. So developing an exclusive niche is a key part of your personal brand. Now, by doing this, people will see you as the go-to expert in this area because you're going to excel in it, which is going to give you a competitive advantage with your personal brand. So again, it got back to what I said before. You can't be all things to everyone. Then you're nothing to no one or anyone. You're nothing to anyone. So what is your niche? Again, if you're let's say you're a chiropractor, right? Is your niche kids? Is it families? Right? Is it spinal rehab? Are you functional medicine? If you're a dentist, are you cosmetic? Are you great at crowns? Maybe you're better at I don't know if dentists roll that word, but you get what I'm saying here. What's your niche? What are you known for? What do you want to be known for? Defining this is very, very important because this is what's going to help you target when you market and promote to make sure that you're spending your money effectively and wisely in the right places. Just like with question number 3, am I a trustworthy person? And 4, do I understand my personal purpose? Marketing is critical to a business, but so many spend a lot of money that's wasteful that never gets any results. These key cash questions, as you answer them, will help you target that resource, the marketing dollar, to be used effectively to get a better return on your investment. You see, now, after you answer these 5 questions, it's just a matter of consistency with your personal brand. See, consistency is everything. When we launched and started Triple P Life, remember, we first started was the Power, Passion, Prosperity podcast. We just rebranded it as the Triple P Life podcast because our coach said, "Jay, you're really being known as Triple P Life, so your podcast should be in alignment with that." I'm like, "Cool, I'm fine with that." I kind of wondered that myself, but I needed someone outside of myself who was objective and say, "This is where we need to go." But when we started, we had no followers. No one knew what the hell Triple P Life was or cared. And when I first started podcasting, my coach was Johnny Lee Dumas from Entrepreneur on Fire. Johnny's an incredible guy. I'm so grateful that he's become a friend, and I was able to work with him, visit his home, go to one of his events. It's just absolutely amazing, amazing guy. And he said, Jay, so you got to be consistent. If you're going to start podcasting, he says, very few, see big change or growth early on. He said, it's like this, right? And then you'll start to see a little uptick, maybe a level, and then it'll start to grow and start. And he said that when it starts to hit, then it starts to go like this. He says, but I don't know what it is for you. Could be a year, could be two, could be three. Are you willing to commit that long? And I'm like, yeah, I am, because I believe in this mission. I believe in this brand. And now this is what we're seeing. So consistency is everything, because we don't trust people say one thing and do another, do we? Hell no. We'll never follow that person. So I got to make sure I show up each and every week. I have not missed a week in 5 years. And many of those weeks we've done 2 shows, and now we're doing our Success Snack shows as well. People are loving those quick little bite hitters, something they can take and use immediately, maybe take back to their team, teach their team about it. We also don't want to work with people who aren't reliable. That's why I said you got to show up each and every week, each and every day. Be there. You got to grind, and a lot of entrepreneurs like to talk about the grind, that the grind is sexy, and the grind is part of success. I would agree. Some grind more than others, but at some point, the grind has got to turn into results. See, this is why it's so important for you to stay true with your personal brand, especially if these things aren't going well for you, because when they're not, you're going to be under stress. And that kind of staying consistent is going to be really difficult for you. So, this is how you build on your personal brand that people can depend upon. So, I want you to go back, answer these questions. Am I making decisions based on your values? If you don't know your values, establish them, your top 10, prioritize. Number 2, have I established my credibility? By the way, every day you're doing that. 3, am I seen as a trustworthy person? That's all about integrity. 4, do I understand my personal purpose? Get connected with it. I see a lot of people who come to me who are looking for business coaching. And by the time I see them, they're already burnt out. They're not enjoying their business. They now have a job. They're not an entrepreneur anymore, right? They're a slave to their business. They're employed by their business. They're not running their business. The business is running them. And it's because they got disconnected to their purpose. And when you do, it's not fun, right? It becomes work. I'm not saying it's not going to be work, but when it's connected with your passion, with your purpose, it makes it a whole lot easier. And then number 5, do you have an exclusive niche? So again, I'll wrap up today's show by saying this. If you need help starting a business, getting your business to where it wants to go, scaling it, getting clarity for vision of your business, I'm telling you, reach out to me. If you reach out to me, I'm telling you right now, if you reach out to me, send me an email, drjay@triplelife.com, and say yes, I will set up a free consult with you. That's my gift to you, and see if there's a fit, find out what's going on with your business. And if that works for you, then I have what we call our practice and business audit. It's a tool that we've designed to help you identify where the constraints, where the obstacles, where the bottlenecks are occurring in your business. Now, that's usually a very expensive thing that we do, but that's another gift I will give to you. So I'm willing to commit to you to help you. The question is, are you ready to commit to you and help you? Okay, guys, again, appreciate you being here this week. Love and appreciate every one of you. And as I always say, right, great content should flow through you, not to you. So if you know someone in business who's struggling, maybe it's a spouse, a friend, all right, maybe it's just a coffee guy down the street who's struggling, share this with them. Could make all the difference in their lives, change their lives, and set them up for success that they deserve, just like you. So, guys, you be you. I always say that. Just be you, right? That's the authentic you. And I promise you will always empower your dreams, ignite your passion, and accelerate your prosperity. Until next week, guys, be well.